Well, you find us after the American trip back in England. Well, at the moment we've been back for about 4 days. We're leaving home now. Well, we've left. We are as usual behind schedule because I wouldn't have had problems finding camera mounts, can't find them all. Had to sort of Heath Robinson a couple of things. But basically we're up and running, and we are now heading off to Italy and the shores of Lake Como. Well, you rejoin me just a few miles further down the road. I haven't quite got on the motorway yet. The thing is though, although it's only a few miles down the road, it's actually more than 2 hours later. That's because the problems that we were having with the brakes on the V7 weren't quite as fixed as we thought they were. And at 15 miles we had to turn around just to finish speaking, come all the way back home, strip the brakes and definitively, hopefully, fix them. They're floating discs, and it turns out those floaty pads weren't actually floating. Unfortunately, the delay meant that by the time we reached the south of England and London, night had fallen, and we wouldn't be getting nearly as much sleep as we'd hoped for. But still, weary and tired, the following morning we found ourselves on the ferry on our way to France.
You will then be delivered a life jacket and a wish shoulder, the life boats and life rafts. You will have to change the
Go on. Merci. Well, this town is very French. Just needs a couple of deux chevaux parked at the side of the road just to complete the picture, really. It's been a nice few larger houses that are really stylish, but a very nice little French town there. Fabrique de Guise. That is on a postcard about what that means. Making something. Fabrication. Choo choo. Tells us one of the main front lines of the First World War. Cross was a dead giveaway. There's a tank standing duty over there. A number of armoured vehicles actually. Well, for lovers of wine, not me, we've now entered the Champagne region. That's nice, isn't it? Our destination for the evening was the town of Reims, or more correctly Rem. Nearby is the remains of the Ramgo circuit. This is a road circuit that runs through the nearby town of Go, or at least it once did. And during the 50s and 60s it had been used as a venue for the French Grand Prix. By the 1980s, however, the circuit was closed and was scheduled for demolition. However, some enthusiastic locals banded together and saved some of the buildings, some of which have now been restored and others are simply preserved. Either way, it makes for a truly amazing sight at the side of the road. So these are the old pits, Tom. See the garages. Now the thing is, it would have been like this because back in the 60s there wasn't a pit wall. The pit walls, they put a wall in there, was something that came later. which is why it was so dangerous, because the cars would be coming into the pits straight past the empty track. So if something happened in the pits, it could affect what was going on the track, because there was no wall in the way. Absolutely amazing. Feels like you're doing a Grand Prix, it does. So the main straight originally was really long, and where this roundabout is now was the first corner. And the little house that stands on it was there originally. It's just there. See, there wasn't a roundabout, it was a corner originally. Well, things are going as well as normal. The battery on my bike appears to be shafted, so we've got a battery charger. Other than that, yay, we ran a bit low on fuel, so we've just stopped for fuel, and we're near the site of the Battle of Verdun. Right, so both ready to go. Next stop, well, actually not next stop, but final end of station today, Italy. Alright. Bit of water. Doesn't look like it, Tom. What? Cool. Fixed it. Brilliant. So we find ourselves in Germany for a few minutes, just running along the border. So the Rhine is immediately to our right. Caught a little glimpse of it there. Yeah, so we'll be in Switzerland in a few minutes. And we've got to cross Switzerland and then into Italy. Sounds easy when you just say it like that, doesn't it? Now this bit of film was the last I shot whilst on the Breva. It's a classic case of pride coming before a fall. The bike was running beautifully. We pulled over to, well, let's be honest, have a wee. Got back on the bike, turned the key, and absolutely nothing happened. Now in all fairness, we'd had a very similar problem with the Honda when we were in Yellowstone Park. And I did all the same things, and the things simply wouldn't come back to life. In Yellowstone we've been lucky, and after a few minutes the Honda had come back to us and actually never gave any more problems again. But the Guzzi was not interested. The Guzzi incidentally is a much older bike. We do seem to forget that sometimes. It is an 18-year-old bike. And so it was that a day that had started with great optimism ended with, for me, quite a bit of despair, with the bike now stuck in Switzerland. And no chance, incidentally, of getting to Italy before nightfall. So Tom found us a local hotel room, which was very nice, and we had a meal. Very nice meal, incidentally, this very nice hotel. Expensive, but very nice. We really did feel we needed a treat. But there was no hiding the fact that I was completely and utterly fed up. Quite frankly, I felt like going home. We were now left with the one bike which had given us trouble on the day we'd left England, but now seemed to be running okay. But the reality is a V7 is not a large bike for two fully grown adult males. It was all going to be a little bit cosy from now on. So we seriously considered heading home. So, should we throw in the towel and end the last part of our trip in abject failure? Not a bloody chance. Cosy it may have been, but the V7 is a solid performer, and there's no way we're going to give up so close to our final goal of Lake Como. Wow, beautiful.
And even the worst weather that Switzerland threw at us was never going to be enough to dampen our spirits. We could almost smell the end goal. Through the Gotthard Tunnel we were able to warm up before Tom took the reins for the final push through southern Switzerland and on into northern Italy. And as we approached the Italian border, the number of Guzzis on the road became ever more numerous. Until finally came the Italian border and another chance to perform a rider switch as I rode in the last few miles towards Lake Como. Our lodgings were just about half a mile from the factory itself in Mandello del Lario, so we couldn't wait to get down into the town, check out the museum and the factory site itself, and just to see what was going on. Day 2 is Saturday and things are decidedly busier. There's a massive queue to get into the museum and queues pretty much everywhere else, even to see the wind tunnel. A small area of the engine plant is open, so we decide to take a look. And a short distance from there we find the wind tunnel. Perhaps Moto Guzzi's most famous feature, being one of the first motorcycle companies to make use of the devices.
Sadly it doesn't go up to 11. That is a shame, actually.
And the piazza near the statue of Carlo Guzzi has a display of some classic Guzzis, including these amazing racing machines. They did fire these awesome machines up, including the V8. Unfortunately, we managed to miss it every time.
Right, so Tom, the Stelvio.
Yeah.
So it's not quite as exposed as you might think. It's Moto Guzzi.
Oh, it's not the open cars though, you can see the changes.
The full range of machines available from the factory are there for test riding. I took up the Stelvio and Tom rode on the back, which is great fun because he hates being a passenger. following morning we took a stroll out to the Torre or Tower of Maggiana.
Let's go there.
This striking structure was completed in 1158 and was a defensive lookout tower. So when you went to Pompeii, you saw fresco, didn't you?
It's a wooden version of a dome roof.
Yeah, at the top, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, not much left that you can see now. I wonder what it would look like. I want to know, isn't it? Gonna get a good views, I think, up the top there. Oh, see, look at that. Now that's a view, isn't it? Fabulous view of the lake. Yeah. It's marvellous, isn't it? Where's the factory? It's just down there, isn't it?
It's the other side of this ridge.
Yeah. Well, good weather at least. For a change. It's a nice change.
Very nice weather. This is the weather I was expecting the whole time.
Yeah.
Hopefully that also equates to it being nicer on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those usually show that. Well, we're leaving Lake Como, beautiful as it is, and we're preparing for the long journey home to up on a V7. We're going to be pretty snug, I think. After all the trials and tribulations getting here, we had a great time here. Thankfully, sort of made up for problems that we've had. On the bright side, this bike seems to be running well. I don't want to say that actually. I'm going to hex myself. But generally, yeah, we've got. It's going to be a bit cosy on here because it's about 1,000 miles to get home. So I'm sure we'll be pretty fed up with each other by the time we get there. But we are on our way.
The journey back through Switzerland was, as before, a bit cold and miserable, but thankfully much drier.
Certainly could not go over the pass at the moment. Well, that's for sure.
As we neared Strasburg, our bad luck with the weather continued. It started to rain, initially quite lightly, but as we approached town it became very heavy, so much so that the drains overflowed, and it would be some hours before we were able to venture out.
Yes, so been following Tom's guidance about where to go in the town.
Brilliant guidance.
Yeah, not that brilliant.
Oh, it's alright.
We're taking a very, very roundabout route. Still,
yeah, it's fine.
it's a very pretty town, Strasburg, isn't it?
I took us the scenic way.
Scenic's
like
the word.
requested. It is rather good town.
Told you, it's big. Come on, let's go.
Sitting right on the border between France and Germany, Strasburg is a wonderful mix of architectures and makes a fantastic place to visit. There are great restaurants, and at night the city is truly beautiful.
We're going to pass through some nice Alsace countryside today, I think. And very beautiful it is too. Alsace is a lovely part of the world, no doubt about that.
Our final dash across France took us 2 days. And while a bit cramped on the V7, just as in our final journey across America, we found that having two riders does have its advantages too, allowing you to take turns and both have periods at the controls. And so, relatively low powered bike or not, we were able to cover those last few miles across France in double quick time.
Our last day on the road. From our point of view it's a biggie because it's the road this time is taking us to the ferry, and then on the ferry obviously it's home, and that will be the end of this epic. It is epic really. I mean 15,000 miles, 3 months, you know, it's pretty epic really. Every way looking at it. There we go. Ready? And back in England, land of great takeaways and mediocre weather. Well, it's not bad today then.
And so my 3-month long journey had finally come to an end. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, thank you very much for watching.